I'd like to take a moment to thank my channel members for your continued support. Thank you, and consider joining today for added perks and exclusive content. Hello and welcome, I'm Bert the Stormtrooper, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers War for Cybertron Golden Disk Collection Amazon exclusive Pterosaur, and I love this toy. And I have to give a big shout out and huge thank you to my good friend Patriot Prime for helping me acquire this figure. I completely missed out on the pre-orders for it, and Patriot Prime had my back and got an extra one just for me. So Patriot Prime, thank you so very much, and I'm going to post a link to his review right here if you want to go check that out. So yeah, unfortunately, Amazon's still doing the thing, or Hasbro, or whoever you want to blame for it. They're still doing the thing where they're getting mainline characters and making them exclusives that are difficult to get. I just don't get that. Make the lesser known characters, make those the exclusives, the deep cuts. Those should be the exclusives, not the main characters that everybody's going to want to get. But I digress. So, released in January of 2022, this was an Amazon exclusive. Started shipping out and is currently sold out as of the time of this recording. I believe this one retailed, this was somewhere between $20 and $30. I'm not sure. But there you go. So this is a heavy retool of Skywarp and the Air Razor mold. So yeah, where Air Razor and Skywarp are birds, pretty similar to each other. This uses that mold, but it heavily retooled the wings, the head, and whatnot to make it look into Pterosaur. It's an extremely creative and well done retool. This figure works really well. So Pterosaur here comes with a couple of things. We've got, of course, a sheet of instructions. We have a golden disc that I'm going to give to my Megatron. There it is right there. From what I understand, this is the same golden disc that comes with the Ark. I don't know because I didn't get the Ark. There you go. It looks like a little record. So there's that. He does come with his weapon, so check that out. And the weapon can be attached to his Pteranodon mode. I've been corrected. I said Pterodon. Apparently that's a commonly misused word. Pterodon. I was corrected when I did my Beast Wars Pterosaur. It's Pteranodon, part of the Pterosaur family, and apparently pterodactyl is now an outdated term that doesn't get used anymore. So there you go. It's a Pteranodon. But the weapon can be attached to the Pteranodon mode in a couple of places. You got a couple of tabs, one on each side there. So there are slots on the thigh right there, so you can attach the weapon to the side of the thigh. Let's work that in real quick. Just like that, so you could have him, carrying his weapon that way. Or there's also slots right at the base of the wings right there. So you could actually also attach this here. Well, it's weird because the instructions show the square base right here, right at the base, which kind of makes it, I guess, unless you're going to have the wings straight up and then fold them down, it makes it a little cumbersome. But there is another slot on the outer edge of the wing there. So if you want to do a little more of a straight wing kind of a thing, you can put them there too. So you got a couple of places where you can store the weapon. Now the Pteranodon here is approximately 5 inches long from tail to the tip of the beak. Depending on how you stand them, you can make them as low as 3 inches and as tall as 5 inches, depending on how you pose them. And you got an impressive wingspan between 8 and 9 inches right here from tip to tip of the wing. And of course, these can be moved around. This seems to be a common issue with this figure. I've seen this happen not just on mine, but on several others, Patriot Primes included, where you're just playing around with this thing and this wing just falls off. So be aware of that. That just seems to be a thing. Additionally, on mine, the ankles seem to be a little weak. Not a terribly big deal. I can just tighten those up, but just be aware of that. If you somehow get this figure, just be aware of those things. The joints do seem to be a little loose overall. Though, as you can see, he keeps falling over. This wing's a little loose and whatnot. So just be aware of that. I mean, for something that they made so difficult to get and made it an exclusive, and you have to pay extra money for it, you'd think the joints would be a little tighter. The QC would be a little tighter on this. But anyway, as far as the look goes, however, he looks fantastic. Let's take a closer look at him. Mostly red. You're going to have some dark spots there on the back. You got the green eyes with the yellow beak and white teeth. And then, of course, you got some silver details along the bottom there. Those are mostly going to be for robot mode. And he does about as good of a job of hiding the robot mode as AirRaiser and Skywarp did. So, you know, it's there if you're looking for it, but it also does, I think, a relatively good job of hiding it. Oh, so he did come with 2 other accessories. He's got these little wingtips right here that plug into the side of the arm. For whatever reason, those come separate from the figure inside of a little piece of tissue paper. So if you didn't know those were there, those were very easy to throw away and lose. So be aware of that. But yeah, details-wise, he looks really, really nice. Articulation-wise, the head can move up and down. It can also turn side to side, and the beak can open and close. The wings have all of the same joints that the previous 2 molds had. So you have a joint here at the base. You have a joint, a double joint right there, or double hinge rather, right there. You have another hinge right here at this wing, at the this edge of the wing here, and then of course you can rotate the wings in and out right there. So you can have, you know, you can move the wings around and make like little flapping poses and whatnot if you want to do that. For the Pteranodon mode also, you've got the legs here. You can move these up and down at what's going to be the robot's knee. You have an ankle tilt right there. And then I guess, is that a mid-ankle, mid-leg, whatever that is. And then the actual proper ankle is on a ball joint, so you can tilt it, you can move it up and down, and you can also rotate it. So, you know, again, fair range of motion for this guy. If his joints were a little tighter, then he'd be a little easier to pose, but not bad, and I absolutely love the way he looks. He looks fantastic on the shelf. He looks great with the other characters, and he's a character that I've always been very attracted to how he looks. Beep. Couple of quick comparisons. Here he is with the original Beast Wars Pterosaur. Of course, this is my own custom version, but it is the Beast Wars mold, so you can see what these guys look like together and how much he's grown. There you go. Pretty cool. I love having these 2 together. And then one more, a little more of a modern, up-to-date comparison. Here he is with Skywarp, who I've got in his Ego mode. So you can see how much they've gone from this mold to this mode. I mentioned the head, I mentioned the tail, I've mentioned the wings. Also, I should mention the feet. They're all different. But yeah, very awesome creative retool of this mold to turn him into this character. I think they did a fantastic job with that. Transformation for Pterosaur is going to be pretty much what we already know. Again, he is a retool of Skywarp and AirRaiser, so we know how this is going to go. There's a couple of things that are different here. So we're going to take the head for starters, and we're going to turn it all the way around. And then with this hinge back here, we're just going to take this neck piece and just kind of bring it back like so. Let's go over here to the legs. So the legs, you're going to pop these out. There is a tab right there in the slot inside of the thigh. So just bring that one out and then bring the leg all the way down like so. Do that for the other leg as well. Straighten out these ankle pieces. Come around the back here, grab his tail, flip it up, turn his waist around, and then flip that tail right back down again. And then we'll complete his legs by turning his knees around and then turning his ankles around to form the robot legs. There you go. Arms are tucked in right here, so just bring the arms out, straight out, and then straighten out that wrist. Rotate them to face forward. Same thing with this one. Snap this out. Straighten out that wrist and then rotate. We're going to come back here to this panel, open this panel up. This is going to allow us to bring the head up and over. Before you close this, we've got this double hinge right there. So we're going to use that double hinge to bring his entire torso all the way down while we drop his wing. I'm not even cutting that out. Once his torso is down, you can go ahead and close this up and snap it together. Bring this neck piece down as far as it'll go on this upper hinge here, and then bring the head of the Pteranodon all the way down. And then the wings, you're going to collapse these wings. And again, using all of these hinges, go with whatever looks best for you. What I like to do is I want to bring them straight back on that first hinge. Use this double hinge here to fold them in on themselves and make this wing as small as possible, because in the show, when he was in robot mode, he didn't really have much in the way of wings. Those were kind of, in the show, they kind of folded up, and this is kind of what was implied that the wings became, was just these little pieces on his arm. So yeah, he didn't have much for in the way of wings on the show. So I fold them up like this to make them as small as possible. But again, it's such a cool figure, and you can give him like big open wings, and he looks cool that way also. So really, I think this is one of those, whatever your preference is, whatever looks best to you, is going to be the right way to go. And there you go. There is Pterosaur in his robot mode. And I'm going to be holding him a lot because, as I've mentioned, the ankles, just the leg joints in general for mine are very loose, and he's just going to flop over. I got to tighten those up. But here in robot mode, he stands approximately 5 inches, 5.5 at the top of the head, 6 if you go to the tip of the Pteranodon head right there. And yeah, he looks absolutely fantastic. Let's bring him in close. Let's take a look at that face. Check that out. That guy just stepped right out of the Beast Wars cartoon. He looks fantastic. He's got those silver and red details. You got the little black dots right there on his chest. The little wingtips here on his arms look absolutely fantastic. And just checking out all the details on him. Just reds and silvers. Really, pretty much just reds and silvers with the white face. You got the yellow eyes. And I don't remember if he had red eyes on the show or yellow eyes on the show, but I think red eyes would have looked pretty cool too. But there you go. There he is in robot mode, and then going all the way around. He's got some kibble. Obviously, he's got those wings back there, but nothing I don't think is too offensive, really. And the head, the Pteranodon head would sit back there on the show as well, so I don't think that's bad at all. And just kind of going all the way around. Hollow spots, we got a little bit of hollowness on the back of the calves. Right there. That's about it. Pretty solid little figure if only my joints were a little tighter. Articulation wise, head's on a ball joint. You got some up and down. You got some side to side. Shoulders universal. So you got in and out. You got forward and backwards all the way around. Rotation right above the elbow. Bend at the elbow. And rotation at the wrist? No rotation at the wrist. We got some limited rotation at the waist because we use it for transformation, but this tail is in the way, so it's going to rotate a little bit, but not much. The hips are on ball joints, so you can go forward and backwards, in and out. Rotation right above the knee, bend at the knee, and then the ankles are on ball joints. So lots of posability there. Again, better posability if my joints were tight. He's just so floppy. I'm going to have to do so much work on him. And again, It's a figure that was made an exclusive. It was made a premium figure. They made him hard to get. They charged extra money for him. And then you got to do all this work to him to tighten up all his joints because he's a floppy mess. I mean, it's disappointing. I'm not disappointed in the figure. The figure looks awesome. I love both modes on this. The Pteranodon mode and the robot mode are absolutely fantastic. And the transformation is cool, and I think this is an amazing retool of the previous two modes we got. So it's not the figure's fault. It's the QC is terrible on this. Especially, you shouldn't be paying premium prices and having to go on a scavenger hunt for a figure that then you got to do a day or two worth of work on it to get them to act right. It's just, I just don't get it. But anyway, I like to be positive on my reviews, so let me get back to that. Weapon, hand, plugs, there you go. He's got a weapon, and then he falls over. There you go. Oh, Pterosaur, you will be much better once I get you tightened up. Don't worry. Don't worry. All right. Couple of comparisons real quick before he falls over again. Here he is one more time with my custom original Beast Wars Pterosaur. So you can see what they look like together. And again, love seeing these two guys together. They look so good. And then finally, for a modern up-to-date comparison, here he is with Airazor, who is his mold mate as well. So you can see how the two of them look like side by side. And again, you can see all of the differences, all of the things that they've done to go from this mode to this mode. It looks like a completely different toy, even though it's using the same base skeleton. As an engineer myself, that just really gets me. I love seeing stuff like that. I just seeing how they find creative ways of taking something that already exists and making something completely new out of it. Yeah, absolutely fantastic figure. QC is terrible, but the figure itself is fine. Once I get it fixed up, I'm going to enjoy it a lot more. Unfortunately, they made it an exclusive. They made it very difficult to get. So I hope all of you out there find a way to get this figure because he is a must-have for any Kingdom collection, especially if you have all of the Beast Wars characters. And I think that about does it for the Transformers Generation War for Cybertron Golden Disk Collection Amazon exclusive Pterosaur. What did you think of this figure? Let me know down in the comments. Give me some thumbs up. Subscribe and hit that bell icon so you're notified when I upload a new video. I've got a donate button up there. I also now offer channel memberships. If you want to do either one of those, I would greatly appreciate it. Please share with your friends if you like what you see, and I'll talk to you next time.